Good morning. Doing a check-in because if I don't, I'm going to go batshit crazy. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been cussing way too much. I went to the Christian book study last night with my mother-in-law, and I just love getting to visit with this sweet soul who has been driving us. We've been riding together back and forth. So we were talking about little things, big things, and I was on a rant and was cussing a lot. I cuss when I'm needing to really pay attention to my mental health. There are signs that we all do, we exhibit when we're going, when we're hitting a wall with our thinking and body relationship. That's why sometimes we'll have this anxiety, or we'll trip and fall a lot, or bump into things a lot. I do that. I run into walls, bruise my hips, or pull out a drawer and hit my leg on it before I have a chance to close it. Things like that. So, I'm trying to pay attention. The thing is to bounce back as soon as possible. Because here's the deal. Most of the time when we have physical damage, even caused mentally, emotionally, there's not a lot to do to reverse the damage. I'm sorry, that's the truth. There's just not a way to reverse the damage. There's a way to not make it worse. If there's a way to reverse damage, leave your information below, and we will, and I'll explore it, and I will share it. But normally, once the damage has been done, that's about all there is to that. Kind of like a Forrest Gump. That's all there is to that. So, can either pick up and do better at managing stress, or do like I've been doing the last couple of weeks and go, F it. If I'm going to die from a heart attack or a stroke, fine. Oh, I know. At some point, one of those things that I forgot if it's a song. Where did I get it? You gotta live before you die. I don't know where I got that, but it just seems like it's part of a song, because when I heard it through something like that. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. And then I went to I like to work with suicidal ideation because I love to see people find a way to live. And one of the things I found out is that, and I learned this in one of the classes I took. It was a grief class where some people get suicidal because their grief gets locked in. Well, it's a lot of the times people blame their grief for their sickness. But really, it's very often a deflection for the fact that they kind of blamed their partner for them having a life, even though they whether they got along great or not, that was the person who gave them some kind of purpose and direction. You'll see that sometimes with addicts too. They'll get clean and sober, but then they don't know what to do with themselves. They really don't. Because there was a whole lifestyle built around that relationship with the drug or with the person. There's everything rotates around the relationship with that person, place, or thing. I've seen people suicidal over losing a job when they could just pack up their crap, put it in the car, move to some small town, start a little job right away, and have plenty of money in the bank before they even do this little adventure to rent a small apartment. But people have so much pride. I think that's one of the reasons I was able to work through my suicidal ideation, is because I always had a lot of guts. I did. I always had a lot of guts. Part of my suicidal ideation was ambiguous. I was sitting on a fence, one leg on the outside, so I would fantasize about giving up, and on the other side of the leg was trying to figure out, how much guts do I need to make my life better? How much money? What's it gonna take? So I was conflicted. Some people don't realize they're conflicted. They think they're confused. And I think there's a difference. I think confused is like being dizzy and nauseous, to where you don't have a very good way to stabilize yourself. Confused. And I think that's dark, and we have to work hard on that, because sometimes there's a physical ailment as well. Conflicted means, to me, now you look it up in the Webster Dictionary, even though some definitions have been changed this last couple years. Yeah, I'm not going to get into politics. Figure it out yourself. Try not to get overly mad today, because my chest has been too tight for too long. So if you don't hear from me for over a week or two, you know that I passed away. Because I wouldn't go that long without touching base, unless I announced it. I was giving up on videoing, which I doubt if I'm going to do that. So this is ridiculous. I think I'm going to give away these brushes because they just don't make much sense to me. Maybe I'll keep it for control like that. I don't know. My mustache area is always so white. So maybe. So this is, I don't know. It just, I didn't grow up with brushes like this, so. But I do like the control. All right. See, that's conflicted. One leg on one side, one leg on the other. Confusion is like, don't even know how to try to use it to experiment with educating yourself, with getting body memory. See the difference? That confusion is just like, but conflicted is not really liking it, but trying it anyway. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it is. It can make, I call it crazy making. It's not crazy, but it feels a little crazy to some people. Not to me. Because I think I've survived because of curiosity. See, once you can get someone to be a little curious, you know you're getting on the right track. You can get somebody to be a little curious. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're talking business. Because, yes, hear that noise? They're working in the bathroom. This is supposed to be the last day. But I don't want to get my hopes up. After 3 months to have my house back and ruin my health, I'm telling you what, it has been probably, it's been a while, because when my spouse's health issues started getting really bad, I was a mess for a while, because acceptance was hard for me. I did not see myself growing old in a situation like this. But once I accepted it, like, this is what I've committed to, it was easier. Plus, he did finally, well, before I accepted my lot in life, and my commitment, he made enough changes to getting some physical and mental help. It was a constant battle. You know, sometimes that's just the deal. People say, oh, life is a bunch of ups and downs. But I can tell you, I've created mine by accident because I didn't know any better. But there were parts of me that knew if I wanted to, I could jump off the bus if I wanted to. But then what would I be jumping into, right? Fear of the unknown, or is it acceptance that this is probably a good choice based on my personality traits, right? I've had, so many opportunities. And I think that's what's wrong with some people who have been suicidal. A lot of the times they blame it. They blame their sadness on so many other things. It's an interesting combo between, okay, this life just sucks, so I want something different, and I'm going to check out because I don't think it can be any different here on this planet, and I'd rather gamble that there's no reincarnation, no second chances. I'd rather gamble to lose than gamble that my life here could get any better. And so it's about encouraging someone to get experimental, to get curious, to say, okay, what would happen if you did this? And you, honestly, lingo matters. You have to be able to say, okay, before you kill yourself, you have to have the guts to say that. A lot of counselors won't say that. I needed someone to say that. When I finally met people who were willing to talk about it, instead of like it was such a big secret. They think if you say the word suicide, people think about it and then do it. If you say the word suicide and somebody does it, they've got more going on than suicidal ideation. They've got a lot more going on than wanting to commit suicide. That's a whole different pan of worms there. When somebody wants to check out, they have reasons. You have to be able to legitimately argue the reasons without making them feel like they're making the wrong choice. Because that's why they want to check out, is because they feel like they've been wrong and they're unacceptable, that life's too hard. Well, you know what? That's not necessarily wrong. Life is freaking hard. especially if you're not curious. If you're curious, life just automatically gets easier. Not that it's easier. I love hearing people talk other languages. Huh? I love other languages. Yeah, Clarksville's growing. And this kid's from Nashville. He told me he drives all the way in from Nashville. And his wife they've had two girls and they finally had a boy recently. I think that's so exciting. He's a hard worker. I wish he had been a hard worker on my property and got this crap done in a couple weeks. Because now that he's started, that's all it's taken is a couple weeks. Ridiculous. But they have him all over the place. Well, they had to get him to focus on this property because I was about to cause trouble. So I think my tax guy, I gotta work on taxes. Little Freudian slip there. Let's see. I forgot what it's called. Oh, hyperchosis, something like that. It's where your ears are just very sensitive. And then I forgot what it's called for my eyes, but it's where any light can make, like being outside without sunglasses on, I need to be in the shade. If I'm in the sun, my eyes will water and I really just can't see very well. Also, because of PTSD, my symptoms are pretty darn good. If I have a client who gets as good as me, I'm proud of them. Even though I'm a little cuckoo sometimes, right? This is called hope. But I still have a few things that are symptoms that I need to care for. So I take care to, I have very little time, crap. Wear earplugs. Like if I'm in a busy restaurant, I have some sunglasses that have a mild tint. I have earplugs that are mild sound blockers. And I slow down. I try not to rush through it because the more I rush, the more anxiety it builds. See, and that is actually one of the tips. Some people who are suicidal or suicidal ideation, there are things going on for them sometimes that have nothing to do with hating life, but they don't know how to cope with all these irritations that end up to being like, why am I even on this planet? Now, this is some people. Now, there's lots of different reasons people get into this realm of suicidal ideation or suicidal. Two different things. If someone's actually suicidal, I don't normally work with them, which is very rare. Most people have suicidal ideations. People who are actually suicidal, they do it. Or they're borderline personality disordered, which means it's kind of like being a drug addict. They love the high of all the attention so much, they won't give it up. And they're willing to die to prove they're not giving it up. Yeah, I've tried to work in that realm a couple times, and oh, it is not for me. No. I have very little tolerance for that. It doesn't work with my personality. People who have to have that kind of attention, they're just, those people are just none of my business. So I may be giving myself. Let's get back to me. So I may be. Oops, wrong end. I may be causing myself some health issues by how I'm handling this 25% of my year being spent on this bathroom situation. Oh, he's got Latino music. Can you hear it? Oh. It's not like rap Latino music. It's not that kind of, it sounds like traditional music, like what I would listen to, sort of in the pop rock, country, because it sounds more traditional. And he's so young. I think it's so sweet. Oh. I love that. I love it when young people are kind of traditional. I had a client send me the words to an old song from the 70s because it kind of explained their loneliness that they had been feeling. And it touched me because I was like, oh my gosh, how did you find that song? I just was very impressed. I was like, yeah, the words to that song really are meaningful. That's back in the days when you could understand what the words were. And you didn't feel like you were breaking the law if you sang along. I'm so excited to get my house back. So many changes I want to make now that I've had a chance to really think about it and do some shopping therapy. I spent all this money on Temu. Thank God for Temu, because if I had to do this on just Amazon or at the mall, oh my God, I'd be broke. And I've got some another package coming. We'll go over it, and I will go through my send a pile of crap back thing. Oh, be careful of sending too many things back in a great big bulk package, because I sent back 2 things that I was sitting on the fence about sending back, and I thought, fine, I will probably never wear them. I'm sending them back. It was that bumblebee scarf and the plaid high heel shoes. I thought were adorable, but then I thought, well, I have such limited space. Shoes take up space, and so do scarves, bulky scarves. But then I could have given that scarf as a gift, and I know exactly to who. Anyway, I sent it back because I thought I'll use the money to something else. Well, they're claiming I didn't return it, so I'm not going to get paid for it. Refunded. But I think it's because it was such a big bag of stuff. It was easy for someone to say, you know what, I'm just not going to let them know that I found this, and they stuck it under the counter, took it home. I don't blame them. They were cute. Or somehow they just lost count. I don't know. But I experienced this once with Amazon, and I really think it's when you make a mistake, if you put it in the wrong bag, they tell you. Because I had 3 big bags going back, because some of that stuff was pillows for my lawn chairs, I think, that were terrible, cheap excuses for pillows. And it wasn't just I mean, they were on Amazon too, I'm sure. Big purchases end up, I'll look on Amazon as well. So this is imitation from Temu. I won't ever buy this again. It's supposed to be a dupe of another mascara. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about just trashing these, because they're not like my Maybelline in the pink bottle. They're just not. They don't goop on. You have to let it dry way too long to be able to get a nice goop, a nice thick false lash look. And I even tried leaving the lid off. It's nice if you don't want goopy lashes. If you want to extend your lashes a little bit, I don't know. I don't understand extension mascara. I've never really had that, but I guess they can do it if it gets thready, but I don't know. I don't know about all that. Okay, I'm gonna have to run. I have to figure out where I am going to operate my business from today, since there's noise going on. They're putting in the safety bars. I wanted one by the toilet and one in the shower, because as my spouse ages, I need him to be safe in the shower, where he can help me get him up, or he can get himself up, or someday I will be using that shower, and I might be, I'll be growing old in this house. So I want it safe. I just think it's a good idea. I think every house should have. This is way too much eyeshadow. I'm just feeling a little dramatic. I feel a little dramatic today. Oh, there's my... Okay. Let's see if I have any heat in this curly iron. Well, if you're gonna have a day today, I would love to hear about it. I'd love to know what you look like when you get mad. Do you take everybody down with you? Like I do. That's why I really try to not lose my temper, is I don't like who I turn into. And that's what one of the things too, when I'm working with folks who have been so sad, so alone, so depressed, so abandoned, that when they lose their temper, they very often lose it in a way that feels like the end of the world. That's what it feels like to them. It feels like I will never be heard. I will never be heard again. So I have to make this huge statement or else. Yeah, that's true. So I heat this and then I stretch it out if I get it too early before it gets cool. I have a housekeeper coming tomorrow to help me clean this house from top to bottom. I have to get all the cooties out of the bathroom too. I mean, I have nothing against the guy, but he's also had his brother here, and I don't know which one of them peed on my bathroom floor, but now I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to touch the doorknobs. Come in.
You got it, 10 o'clock.
Okay, do you have room out at your desk where I
I
can?
will.
Okay, I'll be right there. Thank you so much. Aw, I love to be worried about. That hardly ever happens. It's so sweet. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.